Sana Mohammed was happy for the first time in years. After escaping an unhappy marriage, she had met a new man, Imtiaz Mohammed, converted to Islam, and was now 8 months pregnant with their third child. But the couple's happiness was shattered when her ex-husband burst into her home and fired a crossbow at her from point-blank range.
A young woman with a young family, the fact that she was almost about to give birth, what was going through this guy's head?
I'm Chris Summers, a crime reporter, and this week we will be looking at a case which sent shockwaves through one London neighbourhood. The crossbow was invented in ancient China in the 7th century BC and became a popular weapon in medieval warfare in Europe. Crossbow shooting today is a sport, although unlike archery, it has never made it to the Olympics. But Sana Mohammed's ex-husband, Ramanoj Unmathalegadoo, had not bought his crossbow for sport. Ramanoj and Sana, who was originally known as Devi, grew up on the Indian Ocean island of Mauritius and had an arranged marriage when she was 16 and he was 32. I'm here in Ilford in East London. This is Applegarth Drive, where Devi and her husband came to live after they'd moved to England from Mauritius. And this, sadly, is the house where she met her death. Ramanoj Unmathalegadoo and his wife had 3 children together, 2 boys and 1 girl. They moved as a family to Ilford in East London. The relationship between the pair soured over the years. It had never been a particularly passionate or loving marriage, but it became acrimonious, and at one point in 2012, Devi jumped out of a window. She said her husband had been staring at her as he sharpened some knives.
Friends who lived down the same street as her called her the leaping lady, because it was known that she'd had to jump out of her bedroom window to get away from her abusive, aggressive husband.
In 2013, he was found not guilty of attempting to strangle her, but the following year they got divorced, and after that she got a non-molestation order, which meant that he was not allowed to come within 100 metres of the house. From that point on, Unmathalegadoo struggled to cope with the rejection and began to nurse a grudge against his ex-wife and her new husband. Sana had 2 daughters with Imtiaz, and in November 2018, she was 35 weeks pregnant with a 3rd baby. It was at this point that Unmathalegadoo's rage and resentment boiled over. Unmathalegadoo had resigned from his job as a site manager at Newham Hospital in 2014 and purchased his first crossbow the following year. He used to hide it behind this electricity substation. In the autumn of 2017, a local woman, Jenny Chalmers, was clearing the area when she found a large box containing stepladders, binoculars and some duct tape.
It had also prescription medicine. I had a look at the name and the type of medicine it was and the address, and it was the ex-husband's name, her husband's name, that was on it.
Thinking it was a burglary kit, she reported it to the police, who took it away. In March 2018, she discovered a large laundry bag in the same location.
So every so often I come out and do a litter pick round here.
Yeah.
And I found the second find was just under this tree here. So hidden away in there.
This time it contained 2 crossbows, crossbow bolts, kitchen knives, a crowbar, and what appeared to be harpoon spears. The police took it away again, but had no idea who it belonged to or what they were planning.
I had a reply from the police saying, could we come and talk to you? And the murder inspector came and took a statement about the stuff I'd found, was interested about the first find, including the medication that had the name on it, the husband's name, and why the police didn't flag that up, I don't know. It wasn't done. It wasn't done.
So given what we found out from Jenny Chalmers, and she told us about all these clues that were found, the medication with Unmathalegadu's name on it and his address, and the crossbows, and she reported it to the police on 2 occasions. So we wonder, whether that was ever aired at an inquest for Sana Mohammed. So we wrote to East London Coroner's Court, and they said there wasn't a resumed inquest hearing as the facts were aired in Crown Court and a person convicted. But were all the facts aired and were all the questions answered? Shouldn't the police have had to explain to the coroner why they didn't follow up those clues and whether they could have prevented Sana Mohammed being killed? Unmathalegadu had no difficulty replacing the crossbows. He bought new ones online and had them delivered to an address in East Ham. For months he kept up diligent surveillance of his ex-wife's family, noting down the comings and goings of his own children, as well as Sana and Imtiaz, in a meticulous journal. He was clearly planning to strike when his own children were out of the way. It's believed that Unmathalegadu got to access to the back of the house from this path and walked down and got into the shed where he stayed overnight until his attack in the morning. Let's go and have a look. Sana Mohammed lived in one of these houses, and that path that we've just walked down gives you access here. He probably then climbed over this gate, walked across that small field, and then just nipping over the fence into her back garden would have meant he was right there with his crossbows ready to attack. On the morning of the 12th of November 2018, around 7:30 a.m, Imtiaz walked down to the bottom of the garden with a box he wanted to store in his shed. He suddenly found himself face to face with Unmathalegadu, who was carrying 2 loaded crossbows. Imtiaz retreated to the house and told his wife to flee. She turned and made the decision to climb the stairs. It was a crucial mistake. Unmathalegadu fired one of his crossbows. The bolt entered her side, passed through her body, narrowly missing her unborn child, who would miraculously survive after being delivered by caesarean section. Imtiaz fled out the front door, and it was left to Unmathalegadu's 2 eldest children to disarm him. He told them it would have been okay if you guys weren't here.
Hand behind your back now. Hand behind your back now.
Suspects outside.
Over there. Stay there.
Yeah, control.
Stay there for now, please. Until we establish what's going on, we got intelligence that someone's been shot in this address.
Yeah.
Right, you're under arrest, okay, for the offence of attempted murder.
Yes.
Right, my grounds for your arrest is obviously because you've told myself that you've come round here for your wife's current partner, and there's an affair involved. She's got in the way where you've admitted on my body-worn video that you fired and shot her, okay?
No, I don't shoot her. I was shooting into her.
Yeah, but she's got in the way. I understand that, but you've told me that on my body-worn, alright?
Whether it was this feeling that if I can't have her, she doesn't deserve to live, or I don't know, but there was a huge shock in the community. It's quite close around here. A lot of people know each other, they chat, and we also felt so sad for these young children that lost their mother.
Unmathalegadu went on trial at the Old Bailey and was found guilty of murder. He was jailed for life and told he must serve at least 33 years behind bars. His barrister, said he was likely to die in prison. Sanna was one of 5 people who've been killed with a crossbow in England and Wales in the last 4 years. In all those cases, the crossbows had been bought online, which is currently entirely legal. After a mentally ill man was arrested at Windsor Castle on Christmas Day 2021, Home Secretary Priti Patel ordered a review of the law, and the Home Office said they were considering options to strengthen controls on crossbows.